Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. It's a new year. New year, new me, as they say. I don't know who says that. I'm the same person I was on Saturday, only a bit more anxious. I'm kidding. I'm the same amount of anxious I was 3 days ago. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Take a look at the previous years, the goals I set, what was successful and what went wrong, and then set goals for 2023. The reason I want to look at more than one previous years is because they were also different. So let's go back to 2019. Back in 2019, I only had one New Year's resolution, and that was to write the first draft of my novel, The Shadows We Live In. So all I did was write one word after the other, one sentence after the other whenever I had some free time, some time to spare. But mostly I went with the flow. I lived in the moment. I worked during my working hours. I worked on my PhD, did some assisting in classes at uni, the usual. And then at the end of the year, I had a complete manuscript. A short story of mine was accepted for publication. And I also won a Young Scientist Award, which I never saw coming. So when 2020 came, I was over the top, so excited, believing in myself kind of vibe. So I went out of my way to create this humongous list of everything I wanted to achieve within a year. I was thinking that if I managed to get so many things done the previous year with setting like very simple goals, imagine what I could do if I set, big goals and pushed myself towards them. I did push myself, all right. I have a list of what happened that year. Just a few things. I edited my book, started writing my next novel. I tried writing one short story every month, and I wrote and published a research article, finished my data analysis. I started a new website, created new social media platforms. I set a goal of reading 50 books, which I didn't achieve. I think I read 42 books, which is still a lot. I worked out every day. I went vegan again after, it was 2017 when I was vegan. And in 2020, I went vegan again. And all that while working on research projects, being in classrooms, making progress on my PhD, and surviving a pandemic. And the thing is that during that time, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I was very, very, very excited. I pushed myself and I didn't give myself any days off. And I think that's the problem. I think this excitement, this overachievement, kind of maybe just maybe is what led to my burnout. But I learned my lesson now. But I don't think I did back then. Maybe I had a hint, but not quite, because in 2021 I set I thought that instead of setting like 500 tiny goals, maybe I could set like two huge goals. Finish my PhD and get a book deal for The Shadows We Live In, which are two very major goals. I think that those are like goals of a lifetime. And I wanted to do both in one single year. But at the time, my calendar was still overscheduled. So working towards two major goals was almost unachievable. I mean, I could have skipped sleeping. I didn't, thankfully. I didn't. I was still getting my rest. So at the end of 2021, I had a book deal. I did have a book deal, but I hadn't finished my PhD. So coming into 2022, my schedule was filled with everything I was doing previously, but now, knowingly or not, I had added more into it. This is decaf, by the way. I've switched to decaf for reasons unknown. Maybe one day I'll understand myself. So in 2022, I was doing everything I was previously doing. The research project, assisting in classes, working on my PhD, working on my new novel, you know, and pushing myself to like work out and eat properly and get rest. You know, when you schedule rest into your calendar, something is not right. With my book deal, I added more things into my calendar, which like I didn't expect. You usually don't know what to expect after the book deal. Like you move towards a goal, and when you get there you usually don't know what comes after. So I had no idea. There were the little things like approving a book cover and going live on social media. And then there were even greater things like doing book presentations and book signings and interviews, you know, and stuff like that, and making and getting to know your readers and maybe them getting to know you. So I had to be super social, and you know, I'm such an introvert. So yeah, and that was added into an already overpacked schedule. And at the same time, for some reason, I was trying to write my next book. I'm starting to wonder there's something wrong with me. Am I an overachiever or am I stupid? I don't know. In 2020, at least, I got a sense of what goals are. So I didn't set any goals. I created a vision board of what I wanted my life to look like. And many good things came out of that. I did manage to add perspective into my life. First of all, I learned to regulate my energy levels and my mood and my time and my priorities. And the end of 2022 was nothing like the beginning of the year. I'm so grateful for that, but I'm also very grateful, you know, coming into the new year, I'm so grateful for my scholarship. I'm so thankful to the people who pushed me to apply. Because last year I was thinking that I was going to finish my PhD in 2022, so I wouldn't need a scholarship. But a few people close to me talked me out of this nonsense. They helped me see that I could still apply for a scholarship, and if I'm nearing the end of my PhD, I could reject it in case it's accepted, in case my application is accepted. Luckily, I got the scholarship, and my PhD was not ending soon. And now I have a budget that I could work with until I graduate, which is so huge. It's so huge. And now it is finally 2023. And I have emptied my schedule of everything that isn't my PhD. I still want to do other things occasionally, but I won't force myself to do them. I won't force myself to upload on social media. If it happens regularly, that's a bonus, but not forced. It's not forced anymore. I remember like 2 years ago, I would sit down on the weekends, take a bunch of photographs and videos and like schedule them for the week or the month or whatever. Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed doing that, but I can't prioritize that right now. So the goal I'm setting this year is like a huge milestone for my life, to graduate. I do want to write a book, don't get me wrong, and I do want to be more consistent here, for instance. And I want to read many books, and I would love to go back to dancing classes and whatnot. My number one priority right now has to be my PhD. Last year, I saw my PhD as a burden, something that doesn't seem to end, something that went on forever. But this time, I've taken a different approach because my PhD is a privilege. I will never have the privilege of access to so much knowledge again in my life. I don't think I will. And for the first time in my entire life, I am literally getting paid to think. It's all I do nowadays. I read a lot, I think a lot, and then I write a lot. And since the next couple of months will be spent trying to write the entire manuscript, my PhD thesis, with my scholarship, I'll be literally being paid to read, think, and write. That's my dream. I'm living my dream. Although I always pictured that if I was lucky enough, I'd be earning a living writing fiction, I take what I can get. This is a huge privilege, and I'm so thankful for my scholarship. I don't have to worry about paying the bills at the moment, which is so new to me. I've been used to being broke, that many times I find myself checking my bank account every time I go to the grocery store, just out of habit, you know, and out of my anxiety. Maybe I ran out of money again suddenly. It's not the case anymore, and I'm so grateful. So yeah, instead of thinking that I have to finish my PhD to go back to living again, right now I'm actually enjoying my life and enjoying my PhD while I'm at it. So goal number 1, successfully defend my thesis. And goal number 2 should be something very vague, like to be happy. I'm kidding, of course. My second goal would probably be to create a habit out of writing again. Fiction. I'm in fiction because I miss writing stories. And maybe I can write a short story sometime this year. But first, my PhD. That's my number 1 major goal. And it's literally a goal of a lifetime. It's like after I graduate, I'm gonna be a doctor. So what are your goals for 2023? Do you have any major ones? Any small ones? I'd love to know. And even though this channel is mostly focused on books that I like to read, if there are any scholars out there that are watching this right now and would like to know like tips or something I have for PhD candidates, let me know and I'd be glad to help. And maybe I could update you on my progress in the next months. Not regularly because this is a book channel. Maybe I can do a video about what books helped me through my PhD. So yeah, and that's how we can get the best of both worlds. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful year, and I'll see you in the next one.